Everybody's favorite adult content creator Belle Delphine got into a bit of hot water the other day when she tweeted out what her perfect first date would be. Despite Belle Delphine being known for making extreme pornographic content, a lot of people ended up getting very upset by these photos. Top Tier Trash responded to Belle Delphine by saying, "Sex is enjoyable, but reenacting kidnapping and rape scenarios for entertainment is extremely offensive and disrespectful to people who have legitimately been in that situation against their will. Jesus fucking Christ, people's limits are scary." Precarious Human responds to them by saying, "If you don't like it, then you can just ignore it. It's a fetish that is perfectly fine as long as she does not commit any such felony or incite that said felony." Top Tier Trash responds, "Rape is not a fetish. Rape is torture against the mind, body, and soul. Content like this caters to kidnappers, rapists, sex offenders, as well as promotes rape fantasy. Rape is not a fetish." Amelia responds to Belle by saying, "The issue isn't having this kink. It's the fact that a lot of males here will see this and think this is normal. They don't know about safe words, long discussions, and therapy that takes place before engaging in a scene like this. They just see rape." Wolfman responds by saying, "Thank you, Notman. I forget that I, and males in general, are unthinking ape creatures who subsist on our own saliva, and can be programmed by porn videos like Roombas with body hair. See, every now and then I think maybe the utter rancor for men from weird nerds online is gone." Liam responds to Belle by saying, "Oh my god, my first date too! Except it wasn't cute and glorified, because I actually suffered, and you posting this is disgusting." Gabberdaddy responds, "This was a consensual act between two consenting adults. Apples and oranges." Peachy Sweet responds to Belle by saying, "Everyone's freaking out in this, but there's a difference between two partners consenting in roleplay versus actual assault. Guess what? There's kinks for a lot of shit you guys probably don't like. There's death play kinks where people like to be almost killed during it." Brooke responds, "The kink isn't the problem. It's the fact that it's posted on public social media without any warnings, tag, or censorship. Posting blurred or censored images with 'click here to see more' is different than 'hey, surprise, watch me get raped.' And the fact that she's dressed as much like a little girl as possible, playing into not only rape but also pedo territory. But that's not a surprise as she does that as often as she can anyway." Ale responds to her by saying, "She's an adult woman. Claiming she's playing into pedo bait has always been ridiculous to me. I agree she's messed up in not putting content warnings though." BLM responds, "She's obviously dressed like a little child." Ale responds, "Pedos are interested in minors, not in adult women, no matter how they dress. That's the point." BLM responds, "Bruh, they are attracted to the mannerisms of little girls, and most of the times how they dress. She's doing both, laughing my ass off. This is pedo baiting." Ale responds, "The attraction boils down to many things, but the main problem is the abuse of people who cannot consent at all, which is not present at all here." BLM responds, "Pedophilia isn't only about consent. It's become way more than that, including the way they dress, and dressing up like a child is literally pedo baiting." Ale responds, "I never said it was only about that. I said it was the main problem. Reread my comment. You are basically implying being pedo is liking the clothes and mannerisms. By that logic, any woman, even an old woman, dressing like that is pedo baiting. It's ridiculous." BLM responds, "And let's not even get into the fact that she's always acting very childlike, and almost always dresses like a prepubescent child. Her whole brand is pedo baiting at this point." Ale responds, "Most of the time I've seen her on the timeline, she's doing the weird ahegao face thing. I don't get the impression she's acting childlike." BLM responds, "Ahegao and hentai have such a long history of being associated with pedophilia, but that's a whole different convo." Mello responds directly to Belle Delphine by saying, "Romanticizing rape to your following of mostly already weird men, presenting as a younger girl is absolutely disgusting, and you should be ashamed of posting this." Marvin responds, "I don't think there's anything wrong with this personally, because it's consensual. However, she should have a disclaimer. That would be nice. So, I liked the picture in your comment." Taylor responds, "Well, why are men fantasizing about violence? Why are men fantasizing about torturing girls, raping women and girls? Why the hell that what they fantasize about? And why does it give them sexual gratification? Doesn't matter if it's consensual, this isn't something to sexualize." Dear Baby responds to Belle by saying, "Yeah, this is not it. Posting CNC on public Twitter isn't the best idea, especially dressed as a child. This is horrible. I'm all for CNC when it's done consensually between two adults and in private or on a private platform, not Twitter where you have millions of followers." Emmy Bear responds to Belle by saying, "All the dudes in the comments like, it's just the kink. I'm sorry, but if you have a rape kink, you have psychological issues, and I'm assuming you will probably end up actually offending in the future. I'm 100% kink shaming." Misha Cross responds, "Are you aware that 60% of women have that kink? Why, according to your thinking, it is not okay for a woman to have a kink of being used? I myself have that kink. Claire responds to Belle by saying, I wish all Belle Delphine and her fans a very die. Glitch responds to her by saying, the way people are justifying it because it's a kink and she's a sex worker. Well then this kink should have been behind a paywall, not where young kids can see it and internalize it, or not posted period. But they don't seem to like that idea, so paywall. Corn responds to Belle by saying, I'm gonna go back to bed. To which Jaden responds, Iga, I'm staying awake beating my dick. Nori responds to Belle by saying, I've never had a problem with Belle, but this is messed up, and I really hope she and everyone else can see how this is harmful. This isn't hot or sexy. It's traumatizing and a dangerous reality. If you think this is hot, please consider getting help. Lily replies to Belle by saying, not interested in you fucking a white boy. Gio responds, white boys, that's racism. Slogs Bilby responds, well it is. To which Gio responds, ye boys, white guys are discriminated against every day, and they still say there is no racism against white. Well, moving on from the replies to Belle Delphine directly, Kavos tweets out, 100% this outrage about Belle Delphine is being caused by most likely kids who have never actually seen porn in their life. Jessica says, people be like, oh my god, stop kink shaming, and then get mad at Belle Delphine for her latest post. Be consistent. Y'all just pick and choose when something is okay and when it isn't. Monooxite tweets out, Belle Delphine dressing as a child pretending to get kidnapped and raped, and people simp over her. You need a psychological evaluation. And I'm not kink shaming, by the way, because you shouldn't be posting things like that on the internet. And her oogla didn't put a trigger warning or anything. S responds to her by saying, when are people going to understand that just because something is a kink doesn't mean it needs to be shared publicly? Question mark responds to her by saying, motherfuckers be like, this is a kink, and then say this. Showing a tweet from Glock who said, girls need to normalize this. Yasmin says, I will always be a kink shamer. I don't give a fuck. But my kink is my coping mechanism. If you have a kink for rape and you call your kink a coping mechanism, you need help. Not all coping mechanisms are healthy coping mechanisms. Mongoose responds to her by saying, except I have had numerous therapists who all said that kink is fine. Laughing my ass off. As long as all parties are consenting adults, it's not your fucking problem. Go outside, touch some grass, stop worrying about what other people do in their own time. Yasmin responds, CNC is definitely okay. I'm relating what the OG tweet is saying to kinks. Many men who have rape kinks like seeing other people get raped just like the Belle Delphine situation. They called it a coping mechanism or whatever. Kieran says, rape isn't a kink. It never has been and never will be. Pedophilia isn't a kink. Never has been and never will be. It is something people go through which leaves them with extreme trauma. I have nightmares and must see every available exit because of my trauma. Nebuchadnezzar responds to her by saying, I agree with you mostly, but your rationale is weird. If the possibility of real trauma makes something not a kink, what about people with sadistic or mass sadistic tendencies? Hurting people can cause trauma, but two consenting adults draw pleasure from hurting each other. Kieran responds, rape and pedophilia are illegal for a reason. Rape is the lack of consent. Pedophilia lacks consent. That is why these things cannot be kinks and are so harmful. Masochism and sadism includes consent, which is why it isn't traumatic as normal assault would be. Neb responds, in this situation, she gave consent to all people involved, and they consented to her. She is also a consenting adult. What exactly makes this lacking in consent compared to those other things? Kieran responds, she may have given consent, but she is acting out rape, which is triggering and invalidating to many people. People finding rape arousing is why people say, you should have enjoyed it. Moving on, Joshua Rockwell tweets out, basically the whole Belle Delphine controversy in about 78% of a nutshell. Belle, let me use BDSM as a means to fetishize rape and kidnapping. People who are doing BDSM, no, fuck off. Dock of Shame tweets out, Belle Delphine has been eliminated and sent to the Dock of Shame. I'm trying my best to be cool tweets out, Twitter description guy seeing Belle Delphine trending again. Ah shit, here we go again. Yanni tweets out, oh, why is Belle Delphine trending? Ya boy Toasty says, if you follow or support Belle Delphine, unfollow me and never talk to me again. I get having a fetish or kink, but this is fucked. Dressing up as a kid and pretending to get raped on cam? How the fuck do you come up with this and think it's okay? Stop. Alright, I'm muting this already. All these people defending this shit is seriously disgusting me. She's barely dressed like a child. Shut the fuck up, sick fucks. Raya tweets out, sex workers are not the problem. The problem is literally Belle Delphine. Wario tweets out, why have Belle Delphine when you have me? Alexa tweets out, me when I saw Belle Delphine trending. My day be so fine. Then boom. Captain Kid 2 says, I think to myself every once in a while, Why the fuck did you Iggas make Belle Delphine famous? Dead Girl Disco says, quite frankly, if you support Belle Delphine, you need to get help and be placed on a government watch list. God's favorite emo says, Belle Delphine making CNC with no trigger warnings or context of what's going on, dressed like a little girl too, is so calculated and unbelievably weird. Having the full consent and being able to consent beforehand, plus establishing boundaries of consent is crucial in CNC. Belle Delphine has not offered that. She posted something with no warnings and her fans, who probably aren't as versed in BDSM, will see it just for what it is. CNC is consent non-consent. It's a kink where 2 or more parties roleplay non-consensual sex. A lot of people do it as they've been through something like that and want to take back control, among other reasons. People have different reasons. I have no issue with people doing that. Do what you gotta do. But with no trigger warning or context? No disclaimer, hey, this isn't real, this is roleplay. You are baiting your followers who don't have a kink and just want to fucking hurt you. Rory tweets out, Belle Delphine is genuinely such a disgusting human being, man. What the fuck? Okay, before you simps come here saying it's a kink or some shit, I don't know what you do in your bedroom or free time, but when you are literally advertising to your audience of grown men and promoting violence against women, there is a problem. She didn't even put a trigger warning or anything. Ian Miles Chung tweets out, a tweet by Belle Delphine glorifying child rape as a fetish has 62.4k likes on this platform. You people. Belle Delphine responds to him by saying, child rape? Sorry, child where? I think you were the one pushing the child agenda here, because nothing I wore is for children. It's a vintage dress and I wore a 60s adult hairstyle. Bash the consensual fetish! I don't care. But don't say I'm glorifying child rape. What the fuck? Ian responds, your content is pedo bait, to which Belle responds, no it isn't. I cannot help that I am petite, have small breasts and have a youthful face. I will not apologize for looking how I do, or dressing in cute outfits either. I never claim to be an age I'm not. I'm so overtly sexual in all my posts. Why are you looking at me like I am a child? The problem with the internet is people like you, who use words like child rape as a baseless accusation. This completely devalues the word and takes away from people who are actually evil. I am an adult! I have consensual fetish sex. Do not bring in children, because I didn't! She then posts on her timeline addressing the situation, saying, I'm not sorry, here's why. There is nothing wrong with enjoying power play in BDSM where both people are consensual. I think saying because I enjoy consensual non-consent is promoting rape is the same as the argument that violence in video games promotes violence. I made it very clear in the caption of my photo, and anything written about it, that I was enjoying it and that it was consensual. I never said the word rape, or anything against my will. This is what other people have put into it. I enjoy the idea of being tied up and used, with my consent obviously. Another thing people have said is that I'm trying to dress like a child, which to me is insane. I felt like dressing vintage that day, and even styled my hair in a beehive that was very common for women of that time. All the clothes I wear are made for adults, so the only thing that people can comment on is maybe the fact that I'm wearing a cute dress? It's very confusing for me because I see other people dress like that all the time. If it's about how I genetically look, I can't change that, and I will not apologize for it either, nor will I stop being sexual because I am a sexually active adult. No one likes rape. No one wants rape to exist. Saying that I support rape is the same as saying that 50% of the female population does, because if you look at statistics based upon this, from studies done over the last 30 years including new studies, 31 to 60% of women have power play / rape fantasies in the exact same way. I consented to being tied up and having rough sex. I am not apologizing for anything. What I did wasn't wrong, and much more normal than people think. Look at one of the most common sexual outfits and fantasies, schoolgirl. If you wear that, are you promoting pedophilia now? The front page of porn websites include fantasy scenarios of every different kind you can think of. Incest, stepmom, teacher, etc. Just because someone likes the fantasies of something doesn't mean they want it in real life. Sex is complicated and explorative, but should always be consensual. I post a lot of sexual stuff to my Twitter, because it's for my OnlyFans. People who are sensitive to kinks and sexual content shouldn't be following me. I've made it very clear that I'm posting hardcore porn. Staying true to myself and my beliefs is more important than following the tide of angry, angsty people on the internet. Can you imagine a world where people actually posted how they individually felt, rather than how their whole cancel culture shitty community felt? It would be better, and a more productive one. For people saying I should have used a trigger warning, my whole Twitter / OnlyFans have consistent themes of kink, since I do porn as a job, and I will not put a trigger warning on all my posts. Do not follow me if you require trigger warnings before posts. P.S. It was the best sex I've had in months. and I'm planning to do it again very soon. And then a couple days later, she posted a tweet saying my perfect second date, with the same visual themes as the last one, but even more intense. So that is about it for this situation. It seems to be pretty split down the middle, whether it was okay for Belle to do this or if it wasn't okay. I'm in the camp of people who see no issue with it really. It's consensual, it's something that's been done online for a very long time in the adult industry, and if you don't like it, you can unfollow Belle. It's pretty simple. Anyways, if you'd like to see more YouTube drama, be sure to subscribe to my channel with notifications on. Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel. In particular, Scrubby, who decided to donate $100 a month. That is absolutely insane. Thank you so much, dude. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.